What's up, guys? Welcome to another and very long awaited Hogwarts update video. I used to make these quite frequently, but as you can see, it's been a long time since there's been one. And that's not because there hasn't been any progress, but I've been streaming a lot, and I know not everybody can catch the streams, and sometimes they're really long, and it's really hard sometimes to, go through an entire 7-hour stream and find the stuff you want to see. So today we're just going to be going over changes that were made to the castle in the last couple of months because, again, I've been streaming and all that, and people have seen progress, and there's tons of it. And I just want to preface at the beginning of this video, because I know there's going to be comments asking where version 5 is. I don't know where it is, okay? It's not ready, so when it's done, it will come out. Do not worry. I'm not holding on to it like it's a hostage or anything. I just want to make sure this time that every big thing that I really want to get done gets done, okay? So, I have no problem with people asking where it is, but it's getting to that point where it's kind of annoying to see it. But anyway, the reason I'm not staring at the castle like I usually do at the beginning of an update video is because there's a big change, and some of you might have seen it on my Twitter, and some of you guys might have seen it in the last stream, but I'm going to showcase it here now so that people have it on video and they can look forward to version 5 having these changes. So, I'm going to stop stalling. As you guys can see, the castle looks a little bit different. And I've been wanting to do this change for a while, at least since the mud blocks came out. And yeah, here it is. So people in the past have been skeptical about my stone brick Hogwarts. They didn't like the gray, and that's fair. But as I've stated in the past, the reason I did it is because Deathly Hallows Hogwarts is a very distinct look, okay, and I didn't want to make it out of sandstone like a lot of people do, because I don't think sandstone looks right. Not even just for my castle, but for a lot of different Hogwartses. So, when mud brick came around, finally, I thought, well, screw it, It's not the default mud brick texture. We did lighten it a little bit because before it was a little too brown, but now I think it's perfect. And Chase gave me his roof texture that's slightly a darker blue, and yes, Hogwarts roof is blue for those who don't know. So we have a much more realistic palette, a much more accurate color palette to the castle. I know it's going to take a little bit of getting used to a lot of people, but I've pretty much gotten used to it myself, and I think it just looks so much better. It really does. So we'll take a sort of fly around the outside here, and I can show you guys everything. You might have noticed, if you have a keen eye, that the front of the Viaduct entrance is also completely redone. The Viaduct entrance in general is completely redone. The entire face got lengthened. The towers got a little bit smaller. The lookout tower had to be pushed in so that the stone bridge was still long enough to look good. And to be honest, this is the best looking stone bridge we've had. In here, you might notice that the kind of courtyard looking things that used to be here are no longer here, and that's because at some point in December we got a look at the inside of the quad on the model, thanks to a very nice lady on Instagram, and it doesn't have any cloisters in here, so this is accurate. I know it's probably kind of boring to look at, but this is accurate. Moving along here, we have the suspension bridge building, which I have completely redone, not just on the outside, but also on the inside. And if you guys have been keeping up to date with Hogwarts Legacy, you might have seen the interior walkthrough that they did about a month or two ago, and it got me really interested in redoing the interior in this building specifically, because as you might know, my battlements, which aren't done, I'm gonna go in there, but they're not done, used to have a sort of lift, because the Defense Against the Dark Arts class used to be right below, and I couldn't make the roof any lower in that class. So instead, I have removed the Defense Against the Dark Arts class from the Grand Staircase Tower. And that might seem like a big change, but to be honest, it's a change that makes a lot of sense in the fact that this building used to be where the Defense Against the Dark Arts Tower was, and which obviously had Defense Against the Dark Arts in it. So what I did, and what Hogwarts Legacy itself even did, was have the Defense Against the Dark Arts sort of hallway area tower inside this building. So as you can see, this is like the trophy room that they go in Sorcerer's Stone. There's hallways that go through here, and they connect to the astronomy tower hallways. You go upstairs. There's some dinosaur bones that connect to the hallways up here. Those still need to be fixed, I didn't notice that. Which also connect to, again, the astronomy tower hallways and the tapestry corridor. And if you go upstairs again, you have a nice view of the owlry from this window. But you go upstairs, there's a hallway that kind of ends, which I usually hate, but it's fine. This staircase goes down into the little side hallway that connects to the astronomy tower and the astronomy tower hallways. We're gonna go back around this way because it's faster. If you go up the stairs, we have now reached where Defense Against the Dark Arts is. So this is the new Defense Against the Dark Arts class. Again, it's super based off the Hogwarts Legacy version of it, which again isn't too far off the movie, so it's okay. The only real difference is the way the skeleton looks, which, yes, now we actually have the skeleton in here. And then you go up here to get into the office, and there's a teleport, because of course there is. I could not fit this in the tower otherwise. So this is the new office. You might have noticed the new book textures. So the new player heads, we have a couple of different player heads. They're kind of the same as they used to be, but they have completely different geos. So instead of my old book stack, there is now this stack of books, which looks fucking way better in every way. But there's also this, which shouldn't be here, but it replaced the dragon head, so that's why it's there. But there's food, which we have all up in the Great Hall, and I'll show you guys that later. But we also have a new butterbeer model, which looks actually like a butterbeer as opposed to what it used to look like, which was like a jar of honey. We also have a potion vial. So yeah. That's the new Defense Against the Dark Arts. I think it's a vast improvement, and I like it being in its own little nook. The One-Eyed Witch passage still hasn't been done yet because Belkov's been really busy lately, but we are probably going to knock out a lot of the command work that needs to be fixed in the next week or so, which is exciting. Another sort of change, again, the Viaduct got completely redone, so The entrance hall had to be extended to the left and the right. So you'll notice the stained glass window up here has way more detailing than before, and honestly it looks way better. I tried to make each color coincide with each house, so each corner has a color of the Hogwarts houses, so Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin. I don't know why I was having a brain fart there. You can see the hourglasses are all different for each house. I kind of stole what Hogwarts Legacy did with their hourglasses, so you know, the Ravenclaw one is different from the Gryffindor one, and then the Hufflepuff one. I don't have yellow sand, so it's normal sand. I might change it to something else because it kind of looks stupid being just normal sand. But then Slytherin. And these little side rooms, you know, there's like a broom closet. You know, no big deal really. Like, these rooms didn't really have much in them to begin with. So they're mostly all just kind of the same. They're just kind of study rooms. It's relatively the exact same on the other side. In here, yeah, we just have another study room. So tons of changes in this area. And if you go through here, there's another big change that I wanted to make people aware of. I put a doorway here. There used to be a banner that I never really liked. So there's a staircase here now that goes down into the entrance dungeons. And the entrance dungeons have always been here, but they've always kind of been like a red-headed stepchild. And there really wasn't a super nice way to get down here. Belkov built these years ago, and they were always super secluded from the main castle. So I kind of tried to make it so that it feels like it's a part of Hogwarts as opposed to just being like some weird hallway that's, you know, not connected to anything. So I had it connect with the Long Gallery. So there's a few different like rooms down here. Like that room back there was the Monster Book of Monsters repair room. There's like a broom closet here. I forget what this room is. It used to have a name, but then I fucked it up. If you go all the way down to the end of the hallway here, there's a staircase that will lead up to the back of the defense, or the suspension bridge tower, but the defense against the dark arts tower as well. So that's another way you can get into the castle. There's a staircase here. We're probably going to replace this wood with mud brick, and same with changing the roof. This area used to connect to the Lookout Tower staircase. It still does, as you can see, but it's kind of opened up a little bit more. This hallway was always here. Again, it's just been changed to mud bricks as opposed to stone brick. There used to be a painting here that was a secret passageway into the Slytherin area of the dungeons, but now there's just a doorway because I wanted, like I said, I wanted to make this feel like it was a part of Hogwarts as opposed to just being like its own separate area. So yeah, there's going to be a new door animation for Slytherin Common Room, but it hasn't been done yet, so I'm not going to show you that. There's no change in Slytherin at all. This just connects now to the main dungeon. So another change is when you come up to the Lookout Tower staircase, there is this hallway here that again used to be here. I didn't really make a change. The change I made was making it more open. So there used to be doors here, and again they were kind of obstructive, and they kind of obstructed the view of the player, and I didn't really like that because again it did not feel like the entrance dungeons were a part of Hogwarts. So now again there's two giant openings and an extra staircase that'll take you down here, so hopefully more people will be inclined to go down there. Another change, again another Hogwarts Legacy inspired change, was the kitchens, or at least the basement area. So I used brick. Again, they showed this kind of area off in the interior tour they did a few months ago, and I really wanted to use brick because I feel like there's not a lot of brick in Hogwarts, so this area is kind of special in that sense. So yeah, heading into the Great Hall, we have food and butterbeer, and you know, maybe it doesn't make a lot of sense for the kids to be drinking butterbeer, but it's okay. This stuff will be removed at some point, but you can see we have a sorting hat finally. He exists. You'll be able to interact with him and get sorted. We have an entire sorting ceremony planned for, you know, you asking questions or answering questions, and you get sorted depending on the stuff that you answer. It's going to be really cool. I plan on making it so that you like get a guidebook to your common room and what colors you should wear and yada yada, stuff like that. You know, a little booklet telling you about your house and where you need to go in order to get to it and stuff like that. So it's going to be really cool. That's something I've really been trying to get done for a long time, is the sorting hat, because it's been a pain in the ass to make it and get it in the game. But thankfully now it is here, and now it's only a matter of just getting the command work done, which hopefully shouldn't take too long. I made some slight changes to the clock tower courtyard. Obviously with the change to mud bricks, we didn't have mossy or cracked mud brick like you do stone brick. So I replaced a lot of the cracked and mud, or cracked and mossy stone brick with just packed mud. And you can see that all over the castle. There's a ton of weathering effects going on. But I also didn't like the way the autumn pack looked in this courtyard. I used to have leaves here, but they were red and stuff, and they didn't really look much like the clock tower courtyard. So I've replaced all of the leaves with moss blocks, and I put grass on it, and you can see I put it everywhere. So it looks again like this courtyard is way more overgrown again, as opposed to how it looked before, which is a little weird. I kept the fountain the same gray color. I feel like it fits really well. Some other big changes, and I don't remember if this was even shown off in the last update video, is we have some creatures now. So you might know that I've had a Buckbeak model for a long time, but Buckbeak is in his final state, finally. So he is much bigger than he used to be, which is good because he's a hippogriff, and hippogriffs are supposed to be big. But now you can make him sit and stand up, which is really neat. All you have to do is crouch and interact with him. I think he looks adorable when he's sitting down. The second seat now works properly. It did not used to before. Now he will sort of walk when you are just walking. So even if you look up or whatever, he will not start flying. You need to jump in order for him to start flying. So his flight mechanics have also been fixed to where they're much more like the broom now. It's much easier for you to sort of, you know, figure out where you want to go with him. He's got a new flying animation, so you can actually see past his big head. So yeah, Buckbeak's really cool, and I'm really proud of the way he came out. And he just looks great sitting on Hagrid's lawn. But also, we have Thestrals now. So the Thestral was not an idea I had. It was something Belkov concocted on his own. So we have Thestrals here, pulling the cart, obviously. But one cool thing about Belkov's Thestral is that when you jump with them, they actually unfold their wings, which looks really nice, and they have a much slower wing flap than Buckbeak because that's how Thestrals fly. So the Thestral flies much in the same way that Buckbeak does. I think they're a little bit faster than him, but I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, the Thestrals around Hogwarts will actually fly. And they kind of just hang out here, which is really nice. So the rest of the big changes aren't actually at Hogwarts, so we're going to do some teleporting. So I'll see you when we are in a new area. So some people on my stream brought to my attention that even after I redid all the shops in Diagon Alley, Nocturn Alley shops kind of were very outdated. We'll just put it that way. So we went back and redid all the interiors in Nocturn Alley, so we're going to go through them real quick. So first up we got the Coffin House. It's just a normal store, kind of just like a go in and buy whatever shop. So there's that. Here we have Cobb and Webb, similar store to the last one. I believe this one's kind of an apothecary, but I could be wrong. Up next we have Elm, Wizard, Undertaker, and Embalmers. I don't remember what this looked like before, but I remember it looking really bad. So now we have like caskets open on the floor, we got a furnace, we got a bunch of like fridges for dead bodies. Pretty cool. A little morbid, but pretty cool. Disto Phalanges is mostly the same store, it just got a color palette overhaul. This store is pretty fucked up. This is the house elf shop. So we got house elves in cages. A little messed up, but I mean it's a house elf shop. What do you expect? Especially one in Nocturn Alley. Over here we had the White Wyvern. It's just a pub. Nothing really fancy. It's just a pub. And here we have Flandermoss and Tanner's Bats and Skins. Again, this was a shop that looked fucking terrible before. But now you have like things like skins and leather, which is what I assume this shop is supposed to be. Mark of Scars and Edible Tattoos is the same. This store is the same because it's a hat shop. Beard trimming is relatively the same. It's just kind of a color overhaul. Lockpick shop is the exact same. The betting shop only got some NPCs in it, as well as some gold stacks to make it seem more like a betting house. That shop stayed the same. Moribunds got a big change. This is another apothecary. Noggin and Bonts, I just changed the heads in here to be Steve heads because they're supposed to be shrunken heads. Previously they were zombie heads, but we changed the zombie head in the resource pack and it just looks stupid, so we had to switch it back to heads. Over here we have Tallow and Hemp's Toxic Tapers. So this is where you buy poisonous candles. You can actually make your own candle here. I thought that was pretty clever. Right here we have Shiveretch's Venoms and Poisons. Got a display in the window. A bunch of like potion bottles and stuff, of course, because it's poisons. Pottage's Cauldron Shop got a bit of an overhaul, not a huge one, but kind of changed the color tone in here and added some heads for cauldrons. The Starry Prophesier got a big change in the amethyst blocks. Here we just have a wizarding supply shop. Nothing really fancy. And last but not least, we have Ye Olde Curiosity Shop. With one of these Skulk Shrieker blocks that are really cool, and I never really realized were here until I was messing around with stuff to put in this weird shop. So, yeah. That's new Nocturn Alley. Another big change, and one that's not done yet, is Azkaban. Now, you guys probably saw my old Azkaban, and you were probably just like me, in thinking that it fucking sucks, and you would be completely right. So I've decided to remake it completely. So yeah, it's quite a massive change, and it's not done, so I can't show you the inside or anything, but here we are. So there's the back side. So you might notice, it's kind of hard to not notice. Instead of putting Azkaban in a tiny little lake with normal water, I used a bunch of glass and a lot of time to make it look like it's in a sea with big waves crashing into the rocks. I think the effect is awesome, and it came out way better than I expected it to. I mean, you can still sort of see the edges, so it's not like it's in an infinite pool of water, but the effect itself, I think, is fucking sweet. And Azkaban itself, again, looks way better than it used to. There is no inside yet, but I really like the way the water looks, and I really like the way the fake water looks crashing up against the rocks. So, I'm really proud of this one. I really like how it's coming out so far. Let's move on to the next one. So again, in terms of things that are being worked on that aren't done yet, but I just want to let you guys know is being worked on, is the London Zoo. Now you guys know how much I hated the old London Zoo, but I was much too lazy to do anything about it. So here we are back at the London Zoo. Now, it's not done, as you can see. I did the front and put some trees, and I made the base layout. As you can see, not everything is done. Things are still need to be fixed and laid out and placed, but it's a much more faithful. It's still very small, alright, because I don't want to make a 1-to-1 scale London Zoo, because that would be fucking boring. But you know, we had the reptile house here, which doesn't have an interior yet, but obviously that's the most important part of building this stupid zoo. We have a bird sanctuary, we got like this pig hog area, a fucking place for ocelots, farm animals, foxes. I still need to do some stuff to the fox den. This is a very early look at how this is going to look. Okay, so it's going to look a lot better. I know it looks very bare bones right now. We got a sea turtle enclosure. We got a polar bear enclosure, which is supposed to be a penguin enclosure, but penguins aren't in Minecraft, so what can you do? We got 2 panda enclosures. Pandas are adorable. We got a aquarium, sort of, over here. And yeah, it's very early stages, but I just want you guys to know, again, version 5 is still a work in progress, so things like this are going to take some time, just because I hate working on this, because it's boring. And yeah, on to the last thing. So last but not least, people have been, again, requesting something like this for a long time, and it's not in motion. I'm sorry I can't show you that right now, but at some point, this black bit of the building is going to retract and, you know, move left and right. So it won't always be here, which is obviously number 12 Grimmauld Place. And we're not at number 12 right now, we are at the command area. Only because I wanted to build this here as opposed to in London, because I just wanted to make sure we could get the commands worked out, and we will put it there when the time comes. So if we go in, we have a completely new interior with all the new blocks. So we got like mud bricks, or packed mud for the walls, or normal mud, whatever. And just making use of the new blocks, because there are a lot of new dark blocks in Minecraft that make a lot of sense being in the black household, obviously. So in here we have the black family tree, Come out here to the staircase, which you can now actually look up and down. And if you've seen Order of the Phoenix, they use the extendable ear down here. So, you know, having the space in between the stairs is nice. In here we have a room I did not know existed until I was working on the new Grimmauld Place on stream. So there's sort of an eating area here. I guess it's a formal dining room as opposed to the one in the kitchen in the basement. And yes, now the kitchen is in the basement where it is in the film. So you go down here, and here is the kitchen, which is honestly my favorite part of the Black House. I think this area looks beautiful. And yeah, I don't know what else to say about it other than it looks really nice. Moving on. We go upstairs. We will come to the living room, which again, this is where it used to be before, so it's not really a surprise it's here now. It's just slightly smaller and a bit more packed, and we got curtains for the windows as opposed to using blocks for curtains like I did before. Through here, I believe is Regulus's room. Yes, it is. So we got Regulus's room here. It's an absolute mess. There's a bit of a mirror effect because I'm extra like that for no reason. And here we have the bathroom. So bathtub, toilet, sink, you know, standard shit. Going up the stairs. We have the room Harry, Ron, and Hermione stayed in Order of the Phoenix. So we got a bunch of their stuff kind of everywhere. We got 2 wands. We got one there and one there. We got some wizard cards sitting on the floor. We got books. We got coins, you know, stuff that they would probably leave hanging around their room. I think it's a nice bit of detailing. In here, I believe we have, yes, the room Molly and Arthur stayed in. So it's relatively the same as Regulus's room downstairs, but it's obviously much cleaner because it's Mrs. Weasley and she's got a sewing machine here with a loom. Going up the stairs again to the final floor. We've got Sirius's room here with his accolades on the wall and his big Gryffindor banner. So yeah, Sirius's room is nice. And then the final room is something we didn't have in the old Grimmauld Place, but somebody on the stream recommended I do, and that's the room for Buckbeak. So obviously Sirius takes Buckbeak after Prisoner of Azkaban, and he needs somewhere to live, which is in Grimmauld Place. So here's a room for Buckbeak. We got food for him. There's a bunch of like you know, rabbit skins. The walls are fucked up in here. You know, he's got like sort of a nest. He's got poop. You know, he's a big mythological creature in a tiny room. So obviously there's going to be some weathering and stuff on the walls. It only makes sense. So yeah, that's the new Grimmauld Place. I really, really like it. And I can't wait for you all to explore it yourselves. So I almost forgot that I changed Charms class as well. So you come in from the middle as opposed to where the doors used to be, which is over there. I also sort of compacted the room a little bit so it's a little bit smaller. And yeah, I fixed the back window to be more accurate. So yeah, not a huge change, but a needed one. And that about does it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys who come out to the streams and support those. They've been really, really nice to not only interact with everybody, but to, you know, get a little bit of first-hand inspiration, I guess. Streaming holds me accountable in the sense that if I'm streaming, I usually have to get stuff done. So I've been using that to my advantage and just doing it because, you know, when you are building on your own, It's easy for you to just kind of get lost in just flying around and doing nothing, even though you should be doing something. And, you know, it sort of helps with that, in the sense that you can't really just fly around and do fuck all when you're streaming. So you might see more streams in the future because it helps me get a lot of stuff done. So thank you guys for the people who come out and support those. Thank you for everybody else who keeps asking where version 5 is, as annoying as it is. Seeing your guys' enthusiasm really helps in many different ways. And I'm just really excited that, you know, we're getting to the point where we are close to releasing version 5. And I'm super stoked about that because it's obviously been a long time coming. It's been almost 2 years since the last download, and I know people are really, really excited. And I sound super bipolar in this video because I'm like, oh, well, it's kind of annoying, but at the same time, it's nice for people to want something that you build. So rest assured, version 5 is still coming out. Everything in this video that you saw that's still a work in progress is still something I'm actively working on. It's just I need a little bit more time to get everything nailed down. Not everything you see in this video is even the tip of the iceberg of stuff we're working on right now. I can assure you there's going to be a massive change to the wands coming soon, which is very exciting, and I'm sure I'll show on stream when they are given to me to be ready to use. So again, there's even more changes coming, and I'm sure I missed a lot of stuff in this video that I might not have shown in the last update video, because to be honest, I didn't watch the last update video to make sure that I did I checked everything that needed to be checked. So if I did miss something, that's fine. You know, when version 5 comes out, you can explore the map on your own. Maybe you'll find some stuff that you didn't see in this video. So thank you. Make sure to leave a comment. Make sure to check out the Patreon. If you want monthly map updates, people on my Patreon can actually play this version of Hogwarts right now with this color tone. So if you want to do something like that, make sure to go check out the Patreon. It's only $5 a month. You get access to monthly downloads and monthly downloads of the resource pack, and you also get some special versions of the map, like on December 24th, the day before Christmas, I actually put out a snowy version of the map, which I haven't shown at all. So if you want exclusive shit like that, go check out the Patreon. It's been doing amazing, and you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next update, hopefully when version 5 is released. Thank you.